Welcome, Queens. Can you tell how excited I am for this episode? I have Yuos Sima with me, but first of all, let me introduce her to you, Queens. Yuos Sima is a divine channel and author of The Truth of Trauma. She is the founder of the Truth of Trauma Academy, which is a school for deeply empathetic and soulful women who are ready to return to their true, authentic self so they can embody a life that enables their soul to lead the way. Oh my gosh, welcome Yuos Sima to Victoria's Secrets to oh my god, I can't think of the name of my podcast. I'm so excited. Victoria's Secrets to Health and Happiness. Welcome. I'm honoured that you are here.
Thank you so much for having me. And like literally when you're reading that out about being our true authentic self, my heart, I just kind of like melted there a little bit because I just love to hear that divinity. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you for allowing my voice to be heard. It's an honor to be here. And may I just say, before we do unveil everything, may everyone who listens to this receive what's for their highest good within.
Oh, cold shivers right now. And if people are listening, we do have a YouTube video of us two queens having this conversation, which you need to go and check out, because Yuos Sima is like a fashion goddess. Like, just all I'm saying is go to the video, look at my plain jumper dress, and then I feel very plain, even though I know I'm not, right? But just Yuos Sima is just glowing and her fashion is insane. So go and check the video out.
Thank you, sister.
You're welcome. So I'm going to ask you 11 like quick questions. You can take as long as you want to answer them. They're quite fun, like I would say easy to answer, but you're so in tune with your tuition, you're just going to just whatever comes to you.
Yeah. Are
you ready?
Go.
You was born ready. Okay. Full name.
Oh, okay. Right. So I'm going to unveil a little bit about this because a lot of people are going to be confused by this. So I'm currently known as Yuos Sima Deneen, but I'm in a transition period. So it is not my earthly name, but it is my higher name. So I help women become their higher self within. So I had this channeled in to align with my true soul form. So Yuos Sima Deneen is my new star name, but it's not the name I was born with. So that's a good answer.
I love that answer. And I know I'm going away from my quick questions, but do you know like what your next star name's going to be, or do you not know until you step into that version of you?
It's so funny, right? Because when I was getting this channeled in, she was like, your name's going to be changing all the time. And I was like, right, I'm stepping into a whole new era here of growing and flowing, right? Because we're so like, I think we're so conditioned to be a fixed form. So I cannot wait to be an expression of Yuos Sima Deneen and then to ascend in a new form to see what comes in next. So what a blessing it is to just be in the flow.
Oh, just wow. Okay, I've got to stick to my questions, but I've got so many questions around your answer. Where do you live, Yuos Sima?
I am in Northern Ireland, but I'm originally from London, United Kingdom.
Are you in a relationship?
No, I am in a relationship with Source.
The best relationship to have. Do you have any children?
No, I have 2 fur babies and they are my everything.
What fur babies are they? Elaborate.
So I have a little cocker spaniel. She's like a dwarf. She didn't fully grow. And then my other fella was rescued. He's like half a collie. So they're my 2. Well, they rescued me. I didn't rescue them.
Oh, soul animals. I have a soul animal too. And well, this is kind of a funny question, but I would love to know your answer. What do you do for a living?
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to go deep with this, so just give me a second. I align with Source. My living is to be an embodiment of love within. That is my truth.
I love that so much. If you could have a billboard, so obviously those huge big advertisement boards,
I'd love one.
And you could put anything on there, what message, picture would you put on there?
I would have a big fucking picture of myself and it would say, be you and be true.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You need to make that happen.
I know, right? I can see it. It's done. I can just see me everywhere.
And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is. Okay, the next one. What's invisible but you wish people could see?
Ooh.
Mm.
Do you know what actually came in for me is my energy.
Mm.
That's what came through for me. I was like, no, I'm not going to trust, but that's what came in. I wish people could see my energy. How cool would that be, right?
You know what I see your energy as, if I'm putting it into physical vision, is like little purple and pink, like little sparks, just like all playfully radiating lovingly off you. That's what I
Yes.
see.
Yes. So true. I love it.
I love that. And before I go on, actually, I forgot to share with the Queens listening where me and you met. So me and Yuos Sima met through a goddess circle that we have on a Sunday, and Yuos Sima was a guest on our circle, and I was blown away with the way she radiated love, but also how she's just fully herself, and I'm so inspired by that. So I was like, I need this soul to come on here and just share her message with the world. So that's where we're at. So continuing, I go off on tangents, but it's just part of who I am.
I do it too, don't worry.
Then, oh yes, this is, oh my God, I love this question. It's so random. How do you feel about putting pineapple on pizza?
Oh my God, love it. Yeah.
Me too. I'm so down with a pineapple on pizza.
Out the box, sister.
Everyone's like, that's okay, not everyone. They're like, that's weird. I'm like, no, trust me, just try it. If you were reincarnated as any animal, what animal would you choose and why?
What came into my head actually is a dolphin. And I think it's just the energy they radiate. They live in the ocean. They're just free. That's what I would totally be an embodiment of, because I'm a free soul within, free spirit.
I love that. And if animals could talk, and again, I believe they can, but if they can talk by like human language, which animal would be the rudest? Such a weird question.
Love it. Which animal would be the rudest if they could talk? Do you know what came in my head? A gorilla?
Oh yeah, like give away.
Yeah, they'd be the moodiest cow ever.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I totally get that.
Like just
yeah. I love that. And last question, what mythical creature would you what mythical creature would improve the world if it existed?
A mermaid. A mermaid, 100%. Like, and it's so aligned to being true to who you are. Be that weird, magical, unique, shiny, vibrant self that doesn't fit in a box, but she stands the frick out. Be a mermaid.
Oh my God, I just love this. Like, I'm just so high vibing right now. I can't contain myself. Breathe. Okay, that's the end of the quick questions. But what I would like to do now, Yuos Sima, is I invite you to share your story. And I think people are going to be very shocked, surprised at how high vibe you actually are now, knowing what you've been through. So please feel with your heart, share with us, and I will chip in and ask questions along the way.
Yeah, like whenever it comes to my story, I get so emotional, but I will state that this is not mine, so it does not belong to me. So do not see me through the form of less than, because I am my truth. So this is merely an experience that is come and gone, and that's what I always state, because I stand by my truth. So I was born in the United Kingdom, but I had a very destructive upbringing, of course, where I then spiraled into dysfunction because of childhood abuse. So because of the detrimental environment that I was raised in, which was nobody's fault, it just is, it's generational lineage, I then spiraled into really toxic relationships and low self-esteem within. And I really just thought I was nothing. Like, I let people treat me like dirt. And a story comes in that to actually tell that I don't really express that often, but I want people to understand how low I was. And I remember like letting boys just do things to me, like, do whatever you want to my body, I don't care, I had no attachment. And I remember that experience. After that, I had rocks thrown at me, and I was literally spat at and spat on because people didn't understand why I was the way I was because of what I'd been through. And letting my body be used in that way and having people treat me so low was detrimental to my own well-being. Like I was rock bottom in my own self-esteem, and I want to express that story because I want to experience the transition of where I've been and where I've come from. Like I just didn't care. I just let everybody do what they want because that's what I was conditioned, and it was nobody's fault. It was just that's all I knew as a child. That was what I was raised in. So I thought this is all I'm here for, right? To be used for sex or to be spat on or to be treated horribly. And because of that, I just went into dysfunctional relationships because I was so desperate for love. All I wanted was someone to love me. Like that's all I wanted. I was like, why won't people love me for me? And because I was on that ever like seeking journey of finding love, it led me into a destructive marriage. And it was that my health just broke down. I was only after losing the closest thing I had to a father to suicide. So I seen already the detriment of what mental well-being done. And when I was in that marriage, like my body just fell apart. Like my spinal system broke down. My nervous system was paralyzed. Like my body just gave up because it was like, and it's so weird. And I say this in my book, right? It's like I just lost someone I loved to death, but I could relate to someone who had passed more than anyone who was alive because I was so dead on the inside. Like I just felt like, what is the point of me being here? All people have done is use and abuse me, and that's all I'm good for. But when I was in that marriage and I really hit rock bottom and everything started to fall apart and I was faced with fighting for my life, that's when the PTSD woke me up. And it was through that trauma awakening and my spiritual rebirth that I started to realize there has to be another way. You know, I remember being in the rheumatologist's office and he said, that's it, you've got fibromyalgia and you're going to be in pain forever. And I was like, I can't have gone through all of everything I've been through for nothing. You can't tell me that this is my life. Something inside me was just like, this is not it. There has to be another way. I was like, I can't just die having lived this empty life. And it was that point in my life I had to find another way. I was like, I need to find answers. So that's when my spiritual journey began, and I started doing spiritual healing. And it was that willingness of, I say the soul because it wasn't me, because I had no bloody idea. I was just going along with it. But it was that call from my soul that guided me, and those breadcrumbs started to be laid for where I needed to be. And it was true that like my awakening began. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. If people ask me, how did I become what I am and how do I do what I do? I have no fucking idea. It just happened. Like literally, it just happened. I followed the breadcrumbs. I trusted in source. I just kept persevering, and that was it. Like there was no intention of I'm going to become a life coach or an author. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I had no idea. I just followed the call. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because when you align with who you are, which is not this form, but it's form and source, you will awaken to your true soul dharma within. So it was that path of seeking outside of me that really led me to beautiful, stop looking outside of you, whether it's putting your wealth in it or your self-esteem in a business, because so many women do it. They run this successful business and they think they matter because they've got money or this, that, and the other. You matter because you're you. You know, you don't matter because you're with a man or because you're in a relationship. You matter because you're you. And it's that lack of love in my life that has guided me to have so much love in my heart. So thank you for allowing my voice to be heard and to share that story, because it's so important to me that women can see you are and always have been love.
Cold shivers again. Thank you, Yuos Sima. But what I've noticed through my journey personally and as a coach is those breadcrumbs, I like to call them cookie crumbs because I just love cookies and all that. Some people are so scared to follow those breadcrumbs because they don't know where it's going to lead them, right? So then people settle and they think, oh, well, kind of it can be better, but it's okay. But like, what's your take on settling? And just
I actually have a funny story to say about that, actually, because when I got married, I was truly settling, right? Because I genuinely thought no man's going to want me, no one's going to love me. And I had this man, even though it was destructive, that wanted to marry me because he was cheating on me. Like, I fully expressed this in my book. He was unfaithful. Like, he blamed me for it because he wasn't taking responsibility for his own life. And I took the blame. I was so high on people pleasing, right? So I was fully settling, thinking I could get no better. Well, God woke me the fuck up. He was like, this is not what you're worth. You deserve so much more better. And I was on the brunt of losing my life, like as a 21 or 22-year-old, because I was settling within. And what I will really say is, if you do not change and if things do not change, what is more detrimental to your well-being? Taking a risk and answering that call and trusting it can lead you somewhere better, or staying where you are? Because I promise you, if you stay where you are, 5 years, you may not even be here, because it is so detrimental to your health within, especially if you're a deeply empathic and soulful woman like me. And it's so funny because I remember going in the lawyer's office when it was time. I was literally called, I won't say called, I was pulled to go and get a divorce. And I was like, right, I have to stand in my own now. Like, he'd had a child with someone else. I was like, I have to just go get this divorce. And I remember going into that solicitor's office or the reception, and I remember it saying on the wall, this is not the time for settling. And I was like, oh my God, it's like God guided me there. And this is always what I've experienced. I've always had that universal mirror of that source within. And wouldn't you rather be held by love, by source, whatever you believe in, something bigger, than being on your own and settling in thinking that I'm not worth anything within?
Wow. Do you, like, have you forgiven? And I kind of know the answer, because you wouldn't be this loving if, of course, you held on to anything. So let me ask the question in a different way. How have you forgiven all of your past abusers? Because, you know, it wasn't just the husband that wasn't aligned. You've been abused your whole life.
Yeah.
How have you worked through that?
I think it was that pain of, if I don't forgive, this is going to end my life. I was in so much pain that I just thought, I can't allow what happened to me define who I become. I just thought I have to be bigger than this. And it wasn't about forgiving them, because it's, I will sit here and be authentic in saying it's disgraceful in what people did to me. There's no point lying. I'm not that person who will sit and say, and I seen a post about this the other day, I don't believe in this. Oh, it's okay, set them free. That's a load of horseshit. What they did was wrong, because you need to know your worth. But number two, it's not about them. This is about me. So I think once I stepped in my own and decided to set me free and allowing my own soul to soar, that's when I truly let them go, because I realized you don't matter, you're irrelevant. I don't care what you did, but I do care about who I become.
Wow. And who is in your life at the moment that has been in your, I'm going to use the word past life, because like you say, you've like been reborn through this trauma. Is there anyone who's currently in your life now that was in your past life?
I don't think so. I think everything's fell away. I've shed a lot. The only thing left is my mum and my dogs. Everything has been shed. And I think people don't understand this. You cannot step into the new without shedding the old. It's impossible. You can't hold on to what you knew because you're scared of what you will have. And I know better than anyone, because I went through 3 years of holding on to a marriage and shifting and shedding and going back and forth. I know it's hard. And I speak this in the truth for trauma. It takes persistence, patience, and freaking a serious will of determination within. But you cannot have a past life and have a new life. You have to pick. And people don't understand, and this is what I don't like about the spiritual industry, is they don't share the in-between. You've got to walk through those landmine fears, as I speak about in the Truth of Trauma, to get where you are. But I'm not going to cower anymore and live in fear because of what I've been through. I used to sit in the corner of a room and be petrified because I just felt like life was attacking me. I felt like I was a prisoner to myself. And you've just got to get to a point. You've just got to break free and say, fuck this, I'm going to be me.
Because I've watched personally, and I've been honoured to help people that have been at that all-time low. I mean, that's not my ideal client if we're talking about who I help, but I have helped souls who have been through immense trauma. And it takes so much strength to decide, fuck this, I'm worth better. Because do you see, I know that you're such an old soul in a young body, but so you must know inside or see in the physical world so many people being traumatized that just go through life scared, in victim mentality, because obviously what is happening to them is traumatic, it is wrong, it is like not even like you can't even think that someone would do that to somebody. If someone's listening now who is in that trauma, who feels like there is no way out because they feel like they have no strength within them to do what you're doing, like what advice can you give those people who just don't feel that strength there?
This is actually I this is why I love what I do, because I heal through love. Like, love is the key. All you need is love. You are not broken. You do not need fixing. You need love. And anybody who's in that state, all you need is to be held for who you are. And I'm so passionate about this because people think you have to relive trauma or go through heartbreak in order to heal. You don't. There's another way. Like, I was personally triggered and traumatized through my own healing because I wasn't taught the higher path. And it was true that, I suppose, traumatic experience of my own rebirth, I learned a better way. So there is a way you can heal through love. It doesn't have to be traumatic. It doesn't have to be painful. What is painful is staying where you are. Healing from it is not painful, but remaining stuck in that trauma, remaining stuck in that past life, that is what is causing you pain. And when you actually realize your pain is your power, you transform into a higher self within.
The word alchemy is coming to me. So it's like you've alchemized your trauma and transformed it into all of this power and passion that is just driving you, and I can feel it and people can see it. And I would love to talk about like your book. Tell us about that. When that comes out in physical form, because I like to physically have it in my hand, I'll be the first person to buy. But please tell us what that is about, like why you felt passionate to channel that.
Number one, I just had to let my old self go. It was a way of me releasing that trauma. Like, I just thought, if I don't face this and shed this and just get it out on paper, it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Like, I wasn't sleeping, I was crying at night, I was just a mess. And I thought, I have to get this out and just say, fuck this shit, I'm done, put it out, help people, let go into my new form. So for me, that was a way of me really awakening the soul within. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. I'm not going to sit here and BS, but it was so worth it in knowing what it's going to do and the gifts it's going to bring to the world. Because the core thing I teach in this book is not only, number one, can you heal from love, but number two, you can transform it into a greater mission within. So what I basically teach women is not only to step into who they are by shedding anything that's not of love, which is your own trauma, etc. It's also how to unveil your true soul mission. So within that pain, within that trauma, within that destruction is your mission. And this is what a lot of light workers are missing. They're all love, love, love. No, you need fucking passion. You need fire. You need something that's going to get you up, get you out of that bed and say, this is what I'm here for. And this is what your pain is for. And this book is about changing your perspective on how you see trauma, because I'm so sorry, so many people are witnessing it through the lens of fear and not the lens of love. And that's truly destructive in itself. I am here to help you see trauma is a gift. Trauma was here to awaken you to who you really are, because that past self was never your truth. It was merely a conditioned form of who you were molded to become. It's about shedding that and becoming who you really are, which is the soul within. And through becoming that higher form and embracing that true soul self, you can unveil that mission within, and you will transform your whole past by witnessing, God gave me this gift so I can be who I'm meant to be, so I can do what I was destined to serve.
Yes, yes, yes. 100 million times yes. Do you believe, I'm curious of your belief, Yuos Sima, I believe that before we reincarnate in this human body that we're in today, I believe that we choose as a soul, as a identity, whatever kind of you want to call it, where we come from, we choose our trauma, we choose our lesson, and then we choose our path. And whether or not as human form we follow the breadcrumbs, we overcome the trauma. I believe if we don't do it in this lifetime, we go again until we've like almost like learned the lesson and then give our gifts. Do you believe the same?
Yeah, two things come in for me there. Number one, we have free will, so of course we choose our path. We choose our earth parents, we choose everything. We decide as a higher being, what am I here to do? Because we are here to evolve into the highest being within. And in order to have ascension, there must be lessons to learn. So,
Mm-hmm.
number one, first and foremost, we have free will, so we choose our path. But number two, this is something that the Truth for Trauma unveils, is we are here to clear that generational lineage. There is someone that has decided to have the balls to say, this is going to end with me. And this is what I'm here to help women do. Those souls who feel that call, who always felt like the outcast or the black sheep, or like, I'm not meant to be doing what they're doing, I'm meant to be doing something else. I help them see they're here to clear the generational lineage within. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't even matter what we do in this life. It matters what we leave behind. I truly feel we're here to create a new earth. And this is how my book ends. We are here to leave behind a greater legacy for our children and our grandkids, so that they're not aligned with that fear-based energy, because they've become an embodiment of love within. And it's only through our own healing and our own willingness to pave the way can we leave behind that legacy that no longer is repeating that pattern of trauma within.
Something's just came to me when you was talking. I'm curious at your viewpoint on this. People that experience trauma in their life, I mean, I guess I believe everyone experiences some kind of trauma,
Yeah,
right? As we
100%.
so no one can just not experience trauma. I'm talking I don't want to say this without it's hard to say, get out what I want to say without comparing, like, oh well, this trauma is worse than this trauma. What I'm trying to say is, those that experience PSD, like deep trauma that's like really wrong to experience, do you think that those beings have been chosen to clear all of that shit because of the immense trauma they've been through, whereas someone who experiences kind of everyday childhood traumas, maybe they're younger souls? I'm kind of thinking out loud here, and then so they're not as advanced as a soul on their soul journey. Does any of that make sense?
What comes in for me, and this is what I speak of in my first or second chapter, is there's no indifference in suffering. That belief is what's contributing to separation. It doesn't matter if you've had what you deem as worse or better or harder trauma, we've still had pain. And if we can truly embody that truth, we've all had suffering, there is no longer separation and only oneness within. Because actually what's causing the pain is fear separating us from our truth, that we come from being that embodiment of a collective consciousness of everyone outside of us being a mirror of who we are within us.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up for me. That makes so much sense to me as I was trying to get it out, but that's kind of answered everything. So if anyone listening that doesn't make sense, thank you for allowing me space to just ask that question and get my own answer. So thank you for that. And I would love to ask you, the realm of my work is women come to me who have eating disorders, problems with food, and the root cause of that is not liking the vessel that they're in. So their body, they're trying to change it, they're trying to manipulate it to fit in, to be loved. What advice would you give those women who are like, oh my God, I just hate my body, like I can't like myself? Where would they start from your energy and your love advice?
Number one, how could you not be loved when you're sourced within? So all those other stories you're telling yourself are just a load of bullshit. And number two, take ownership for who you are and start clearing that stuff up. The reason you're doing that and repeating the cycle of trauma is because you're not healed within. And manipulation, you're just repeating the cycle of abuse. And unfortunately, women don't like to hear it. They don't want to take responsibility for who they are. But it's time to step up. We've got to stop bullshitting ourselves and saying we're a victim to life, because we're not. We get to choose who we are. And as long as we dishonor ourselves, our soul, our being, our body, our mind, we are continuing to be the abuser within. So you are choosing to be the abuser of self. That is a conscious choice that you are making. So it's time to make a new choice. And I'm not going to bullshit, and I don't sit here and fluff things up. You're not choosing to be that one who's ending the lineage of trauma within. So it's time to start coming home to who you are and knowing I am and always have been loved.
I love that so much, and that resonates with me. I mean, I've done a lot of work on myself. I mean, I teach this. I never like to say I'm healed, quote healed, because it's an ongoing journey. I've come so far in my journey. But something stuck for me when we were talking in our goddess circle. We was talking about self-sabotage. And
Yes.
you said, rightly so, and it really resonated with me, that any form of self-sabotage is actually some trauma that you've not healed.
Yeah.
That's just like, wow. Can you just abbreviate on that?
Yeah, this is something that came in for me the other day. Like, I'm always getting new teachings in and I just kind of bring them through. So I'm learning as I go along too. So whenever I get this, I'm like, boom, yeah, okay, I get that. But this one was really powerful for me because something people don't do is they don't heal through compassion for self. They do it through a space of beating self up, which is repeating the cycle within. Like, people aren't healing from love. And this is what we have to take responsibility. I don't care what you do in the world. If you're not being embodiment of love, and if you're not loving self and honoring self and caressing self, you're not being a true light worker. So you're not doing what's the highest good within. And one of the things we have to understand, our inner child has been burnt. She's been hurt. She's been in pain. And when she's afraid to level up, and go and break through that glass ceiling, it's because she doesn't feel held within. And you're there beating her up, telling her off, saying she's not good enough. Why won't you let me do this? Because we're too fucking selfish and thinking, well, what I get outside of me is going to fulfill me because I'm not love within me, which is not of truth. So we have to understand that our inner child has been through enough. We are not here to hurt her more. We are here to honor her. So when you face that self-sabotage, why are you feeling unsafe? Why are you feeling unheard? Why are you feeling insecure? Why is your inner child scared? And what more work do you need to do within? When you do the full work, which I've done and I continue to do so, you will not face that resistance in that self-sabotage. Because for me, if you're in a business and you're not fully healed and you're continuing to sabotage and go through that resistance, how is that for your higher good? And you're not serving from a space of love. It's your responsibility to heal that inner child so she feels held and safe to serve.
That's so powerful. What's your self-talk like? So are there things that you say to yourself like on a daily basis?
2 seconds, my postman's here.
Oh, no problem. I'll share with the audience what I say to myself on a daily
Okay.
basis. So I say things like when I'm checking in with my hunger, I'll be like, hey, baby girl. I legit call myself baby girl, no judgments. I'm like, hey, baby girl, how are you feeling? Like, what do you need? Do you need food? Are you hungry? Do you need to sleep? I mean, of course, if you're at work and you're just like, oh yeah, my inner self says I need to go for a nap, so off I go. Like, I get that real life happens, but check it purely the act of taking the time to check in with yourself is honoring and giving your inner self space. So I'm just sharing, Yuos Sima, like I check in with myself regularly. I call myself baby girl. I'm like, hey, baby girl, are you hungry? What do you need? And of course, like if people are working, they can't just say to their boss, like, my inner self needs a nap, so bye. Like just purely taking the time to check in with yourself and actually
Yes.
be curious, how am I? Honestly, how am I? I care about you. I love you. How are
Yeah.
you? Just doing that alone, whether you can listen to her in that moment or not, is powerful enough to build that relationship up with self.
100%. And it's daily rituals. This is what people don't realize. So many people are desperate, like in their trauma, that they look for a quick fix because they're so busy to get out of that state. But there's no quick fix, there's only the change within. You have to completely change your lifestyle. It's changing your habits, your self-talk. It's changing everything so that every single day you have them tools so that you can be an embodiment of love within. Like, I have a toolbox like so big at this point, so that if I need something to serve me, I can pull it out and I can do the work within. Like, this is a new way of living. And that's why I do this work and I offer my programs, because there's so much more to reading a book. It's changing your whole life. You can't do the old when you want the new. So you really have to learn to honor yourself on a day-to-day basis so that whatever you face, that you can handle it within.
Yes, and that's what is your program called, the Queen of Self?
It's called Become the Queen of Self.
Oh, I just love that so much. Can you tell us like some juice, like what is in there? I'm guessing all the tools that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Do you teach that in your program?
This is really deep work. Like, this does everything. So all that shedding we were talking about, of letting go of anything that's not of love, it will do that. It's basically bringing everything into the light. Nothing will be left unturned. Like relationships, money, sex, everything, you name it. And then the bonus content is unveiling your mission within, in which you get free content from me. So it's all about becoming who you really are, which is an embodiment of love, stripping anything in your life that's not love, so that you can serve from a space of love within. Because as we were talking about the self-sabotage, the resistance, we don't want to face that. Been there, done that. So when you truly step in, you become that embodiment, so that when you unveil that true mission, which is the bonus content will support you in doing, you can do it from that space of I am and always have been love. So it's so beautiful. It's really deep work. And you get so many extra content with it. Like, there's all the support you need, not just that you have the tools, because I don't serve from a space of you need me. I am not aligned with codependency. What you see in me is a mirror of yourself. I am here to guide you into who you need to become, so that you can be of service to the soul within. Then you can just go out there and do your thing.
You know, I was reading about it, and I was gobsmacked when I saw that the course, if you sign up till the end of January, is that right? That they get WhatsApp with you. And I was like, that is the investment already, just to have WhatsApp with, like, honestly,
Yeah.
with your wisdom. So is that WhatsApp included in the program with you directly?
So because I'm going through like an upgrade, there is so much more bonus content in it, because you're getting it at where it's been. And then from February the 1st, it's going to be completely up leveling. So you have the opportunity now to get 6 months of WhatsApp and 6 months of energetic healing with me. This won't be available afterwards, because I don't do one-to-one work. I'll be stepping into seminars after this month. So you're not going to have this opportunity to work with me again. It doesn't support me energetically. It's not for my highest good. And I don't like the online space. It's just not for me. I like being out there and being with people and connecting. So if you do feel that call and you want to step on it, now is the time, because you won't get it. And merely, it's not even having that wisdom or having me in that space. It's just the vortex itself. Like, being in that vortex and that energy and around my vibe, that is all you need to ascend within.
Yes. I thought I was going to ask you that question about one-to-one work. So that's really interesting. So what's the highest vision for you and your company? As well, you are your company, you are your vision. Tell us more about your vision for that.
Number one, I want to launch a foundation center around my book, because those people who are really in a bad state, I want them to be supported and held within. Like, I struggle myself financially and personally, that I didn't have anywhere to turn. And it was only through a foundation center that I got the help, because I couldn't literally afford more than £3. Like, that's all I had. So for me, my greater mission is to have international foundation centers all over the world, because I want to help people heal their lineage within. It's not about me healing you, it's about you healing yourself. I want to be a true leader in saying you are your own healer. So that's my greatest path. But for me, I want to be internationally speaking. I want to be doing this work. And the beautiful thing about Become the Queen Herself, this is only the first level up. That's going to be transforming into a 3-day seminar, which I'm hoping to launch next year. So that's where I'm going to be going from that. And when you enroll in this program, you can up level into that next ascension at the general admission rate, but you will get it for as a VIP, because you've already done that work within. So it's going to be leveling up so much more. And public speaking is where my heart is. I've already been in that industry. I did network marketing. I traveled all around the world. I just love being on stage. It lights me up. Like, that's where my heart is. Online is not for me. And this is one thing I will say to you. I'm not here to tell you to do it a certain way. I'm here to give you freedom within. There is not one way to build your business. There is not one way to be loved. There's only what's of truth within. I want you to follow your heart. So this is me following mine.
And we need you the world needs you on stage.
Yes.
You know, like, you're the kind of, obviously you're your own vibe 100%, but I mean, who doesn't? I love Tony Robbins. And what I love most about him is what I love most about you. It's the passion and the love. It almost brings me to tears, because I just feel that, like, I'm getting emotional now, because I just feel it. Like, it's just like a huge wave of love and belief, and like, but empowerment, and no bullshit. Like, you're not there going, oh yeah, yeah, your trauma was bad, and oh, I'm sorry. You're like, listen, bitch, right? You have the power, and that's what I love, because I mean, I'm a recovering people pleaser, and when
Yes.
I first started coaching a few years ago, I wanted to quote fix everyone. I wanted the answer. I wanted to take their suffering away from them. And now I'm like, no, I'm glad you're feeling this, because when you come out the other side, you are going to be so effing
Yes.
strong. I don't want to do it for you, because
Yes.
that's not where the magic is. The magic is in the pain, the struggle, the realizations, the aha moments. They're like, holy shit, this is why that's happened.
Yeah.
But
And
I wasn't always that.
I have a beautiful gift actually. Something came in that I don't get to teach these trainings enough, but in regards to people pleasing, this teaching came in a few weeks ago. Um, all it really is we have conditioned ourselves to have perfect conditions so we feel safe within. So it comes back to that inner child, right? And so many women do it and they don't realize it may not even be their trauma, it could be from their mother's lineage. They are people pleasing, which women have done for generations because the divine feminine's been suppressed, because we want perfect conditions to feel held within. Sister, once you hold yourself and you feel safe, you don't need that security anymore. You don't need that blanket because you're already held within. You are source. How could you not be more held in having that embodiment of love? So that's something I wanted to bring in as a gift to you. I really felt called to do that, in knowing it's okay not to have perfect conditions. And the last line of my book, actually, or the last chapter of my book, says, do not expect perfect conditions after this book is done, because I'm not here to teach you to have a perfect fucking life. I'm here to teach you to stand in your own, face everything head on, and say, I am the warrior within. And do you know what? Tony Robbins has been a huge part of my life. I literally have watched his seminar on Netflix, and I have just gone to tears, because like the fire in me, because I know that's where I'm meant to be. It's the only thing I've ever said in my life, Mum, I'm meant to do that. I'm meant to be on that stage. I'm meant to be doing that work. I'm meant to be bigger than him. Like, I remember having a call with a coach, and he said, God, I can see you on stage in front of 12,000 people. And so many people doubt that because they can't see it here and now. But if you feel that fucking call, trust it will be.
I'm thinking millions, girl, not thousands for you.
Yes.
Like, come on. And how old are you? I mean, age doesn't matter, but I'm just so curious. How old are you?
I'm only 28, so I'll be 29 in April, but I have learned lifetimes of lessons in such a short period of time. Like, I remember joining the Awakened Academy, which is where I've done my spiritual life coaching training, and which I'm still going through. And they said to me, like, you're getting your lessons really early on, like even the divorce and everything. It's like I've got supercharged so that I can just go out and do my work and spread my message for the next 70 years. Like, till I'm 101, I'm going to be on that stage.
Exactly. It's like, do you know Bob Proctor?
Yes.
Oh, me and my star client, we call him Grandad Bob. Like, he's hilarious because he's like, how old is he? He must be late 80s. And he's on the stage going, I'm just getting warmed up. And he's being like, he legit is honestly saying he's late 80s and he's only just getting started.
Yeah, I love it.
The energy for, and I think it was him I heard from, you know how people say, oh, I'm tired. I mean, yes, you can be physically tired, but people are like,
of course you're tired. Your life doesn't light you up. It's bullshit. You're going to be fucking tired.
exactly. And then he was saying, in the human body, excuse me if I get the statistics wrong, in the human body, we have enough power and energy within ourselves to light up New York City for like one day or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if we actually come back to who we really are and understand and know in our heart how powerful we actually are, what the biggest lesson that I've learned is what you keep talking about, and that's taking full effing responsibility. And even still, along my path, sometimes when I'm like stuck,
it's hard, right?
I'm stuck and I'm like zooming out and I'm like, well, it's because you're just fucking being in victim mentality. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that is totally like,
yeah,
it's a daily practice, isn't it? But
you have to, like, when I think the hardest thing for people when they step out of that trauma is letting go of that victim consciousness, because we thrive off it. Like, we actually enjoy being treated as different because we feel special in some form, which I suppose kind of feeds that need to be loved within. But none of that bullshit exists when you heal. There's no getting free stuff. There's no victim consciousness. There's no playing things up so that people can treat you differently. It's like, I am taking full responsibility for my own well-being. And I'm sorry, if you're not here to do that, you're not here for me, because I am not carrying you. I ain't dragging you. If you're not willing to do the work, sending you blessings, but I set you free.
Hell yes. Like, just something that came up for me. Going back to when we were children, I'm sure I'm not just speaking for myself in this experience. You know, when you don't want to go to school, and then you're like, I don't feel well, and your mum's like, oh, you can stay off school, and then she puts you on the sofa, and you get a blanket, and you get are you okay? And you're like, and you get looked after, and you get that extra love, don't you, through not being okay.
Oh my gosh, that's been a huge pattern of mine. It's so strange you say that, because my mum worked 72 hours a week. Like, she was conditioned that she had to do that masculine ball busting in order to make money, right? Which I think we've all been through at some point. We have to break that pattern within. I think that's one of the core things of why I do what I do, and knowing you don't have to fucking sell yourself in order to succeed. And the only way I would get her attention was if I was sick. So I then manifested so many ailments in my body because I just wanted my mum. Like, I used to cling on to her legs. I didn't want her to go. Obviously, it's understanding because the perpetrator was in the home, but I just didn't want her away. And whenever I was sick, I got her to be with me. And I had to clear all that because I thought, whenever I get sick, that's when I'm loved. We attach these things to love. And this is why I do what I do. So there's no attachments within, no attachments to work, no codependency, no attachments to trauma or relationships. That is what will truly set you free.
Wow. And all that keeps coming to me is, anyone listening, Yuos Sima, you have her on WhatsApp. Like, I can't, my mind is like, I mean, me being a coach myself, like, and yes, I am blowing my own trumpet now, but do you know how valuable that is to have someone like that on the end of your WhatsApp, answering any of your general life questions? Oh my freaking God. Get your ass to her course, which is going to all be linked below. You need this in your life. If this is calling your name, and I say this with passion, with love, with everything that I have, like, if there's a slightest little, that's your calling, like, that's the fear you need to step into. And yes, it's scary to invest in yourself. And I have a coach. Like, I would not expect someone to invest in a coach if I'm not investing in myself with a coach. And every time I invest, it's a little bit more fucking scary with the investment of the energy, of the money, of the like commitment. But that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, it's so funny you say that, because I don't get no fear. I've invested about 30k and I'm just like, boom, I don't give a shit. I'm just like, yeah, because I would rather invest in myself than a house or something that's not going to give me shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many people look at people, well, she's got nothing. Like, why would I want to be like her? I want to be the person with the big house and the nice car. I'll have all that, but I'll do it in a way that's of the highest good within. I am worthy of being invested in. And if you don't think you're worthy of being invested in, well, you just got to get your shit together.
That's why you need your course, to then know that you're worthy of everything that's come to you.
Yes.
But it's amazing to see, and you're such an inspiration. Like, I'm so honored to be in your presence. I really, really am. Like, if I could zoom out and as a soul and just look at the tapestry of what you've been through in your souls, like I have with me here. And I asked this as a gift. And do you know what a star seed is?
Yeah. It's I've heard it a few I think I'm a star seed anyway. We come from the stars.
Yes, that's it. And I was only reading the book to this yesterday, because I only got it delivered a few days ago. And a star seed is an old soul in a human body that has lived many lifetimes, but not necessarily on this earth, like in the other galaxies, and doing all amazing.
That's so me. I'm not from this planet. I always said that. No. I said, Mommy, I just don't come from here. It just doesn't happen.
So you are living as you are, exactly as you're supposed to, which is so cute and funny how you said, I've done all of the stuff in like 5 lifetimes, like in a few years. That's done. I've got the wisdom physically in a physical human form, as well as my soul wisdom, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And anyone that gets to work with you will just have such huge transformations. I'm just so blessed and honored that you're here.
I'm receiving it all. Thank you.
Flew by. But before we go, I would love, love, love for you to share a little bit more in depth about your book, like how can they get it, when's it coming out in print, and also about your program, how it's like laid out, etc.
Yeah, so my book's coming out soon. I'm still going through a transition from the old to the new. So it'll be around March, April time, or when I'm fully shedded and I can step on in. And then that will be available on Amazon. I cannot wait to bring it through. I've even got my pen ready to sign it. It's made of ostrich pink feathers.
Can I have a signed copy, please?
And I'm going to get rose gold ink so I can sign them all. So I can't wait to bring that through. And there's also another thing which is going to be in collaboration with it, which is my power journal, which will be available soon. And I was told to bring this through because it's going to help you ascend within. The core thing for me is that when you face your challenges, you can do it from a space of love within. So this 21-day power journal is to teach you to rise so that you're no longer falling, but you're ascending into the highest version of self, right? So that's going to be another thing that's coming in. And then obviously my program is accessible. But I do it very different to the way other people do it. And I actually spoke about this the other day. There is not a lot of content each week that you get because you need to integrate. So many people don't speak about space holding and integration because they keep it at a head level. They're all ego and not heart. You have to fully embody this to heal from trauma, because I've been through disorientation. I've been through all that stuff. And if you're healing it up here, that's it, that's what it will do. So this is helping you embody these changes within and to bring them in. And to do that, you've got to learn to hold space. So the main intent of this program is that you learn to be a space holder. So whatever comes true, like after, and I will say, one thing I'm so passionate about this program, we are constantly up leveling, ascending and reshifting in our life. You have access to this forever. So when your life is changing again or ascending or you're going through a new way, you can come back to this program and do it again. So you're paying once for something you can do over and over again. So you get a video and a workbook and an audio every single week. Now, the video is masked. You cannot see me because I want you to receive me. This is not about me. This is not about me getting in the way. This is about being of service to you. So you will feel me, but you will not presently witness me, because judgment will get in the way. You'll start to have thoughts which will link you to me. And I only want you to receive the energy within. So that's the way I do it. It's of my highest good. And then within the bonus content, you unveil your true soul dharma. You have a breathwork session, which is being brought in by an amazing facilitator. She's so beautiful and she brings her voice in. So she will be channeling through her voice and using breathwork to help you clear that space within. I then have a guided tutorial, which is to help you feel to heal. So you can learn to be present with your feelings and really merge through them. As we were speaking about, you need those tools. But the one thing for me, like, not only do you get the bonus content to unveil your true soul dharma, which is a really empowering thing or experience, there is also an affiliateship. So this is so true in my heart. And before I go, I have to unveil this because we are here to clear the way within. I can't do this work alone. Like, I'm only one person. I can only achieve so much. We can only do this together. We are collectively one, and I need your support as you need mine. So through this affiliateship, to honor you for the soul you are, you can step away and become an affiliate for this program. So you will earn 20% off the total price, which will be £1,555 once it's upgraded, off every soul you bring in. But the way I've been taught to do it from spirit is this is not a masculine. You're not be telling people, go do this. That's not the way it will work. It's for deeply empathic and soulful women. So you will be guided intuitively as a thought form, a name to bring someone in, and you will help them to step on in. This is the universe's way of supporting you and thanking you for doing the work, because we are here to clear collective trauma, not just our own. And through you doing this program, that's what you're doing. So this is to celebrate, honor you and love you for becoming the queen, and also to support you on your own soul mission. Because one other pain point for me is finances when you're building your business up. People don't, I'm not here to get, I'm here to give. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to take, we're here to serve. So this is going to help you, once you've unveiled that true soul dharma after becoming the queen, to have that financial foundation so you're not stressing or fearing, and that you're truly serving from a place of security within. So that's the final foremost thing, because that's just so important to me that people understand that and receive that. And then you can connect with me on social media, in which I'm not directly on there, but you will receive daily inspiration every single day. So I've gone through a new rebranding now. in which you can receive love and light and just receive the energy of all that is.
Oh, wow. I was going to ask one last question to finish. I really don't think I need to. I think you've just given us, again, showered us in love and passion. And please, if everyone's listening to this is feeling the same way I feel now, which is just like, wow, screenshot this episode, tag us both. Can they tag you in it on social media?
Yes, please.
Yes. So tag us both in it. What hashtag shall we use when they're sharing this? What's your hashtag for us to use?
Do you know what just came in my head? You are the queen.
Oh, I love the word queen. You hashtag you are the queen, and then tag us both in it. Please get this message to as many souls as possible. They need to hear this. Yuos Sima, thank you from my heart, from my soul. I love you with all I am, and I'm just so grateful for you. And I know we're going to be connecting soon. I just know it.
Oh, my heart. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing my voice to be heard, that I was suppressed for so long. So for anyone who allows me to express my truth, I honor you, I see you, I love you. And every single one who watches this, remember you are and always have been loved. You matter and I believe in you.
Mwah! I love you. Thank you.